Good morning, everyone. The 24th day of September being Wednesday is today, 2025. What is going on in Kwara State is something that the indigenous Southwesterners should take note, because government is not going to, listen to their cries. The government is not going to help you people. And I think at a time, during the time of Governor Karedondo, Amotokun as a vigilante corps, they work to the best of their ability, but something that is going on in Kwara State is going to bring down the Southwest not later than 9 months to come. I want you to mark this thing, because as of April this year, there was a report that all these Mahmuda terrorists, that they established 17 cells in Kwara State. That was the time the Republic of Benin shut their border with Kwara State. They were dropping weapons with helicopters in Kwara State. Go and fact check what I'm saying. Go and Google it. Helicopters were dropping weapons in these cells. So they have about 17 camps as of April 2025 in Kwara State. Now, I don't really know the number of cells they have now, whether it's still the 17 that they just fortified it. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that you see about 4 villages, communities are empty now in Kwara State. A lot of videos we have published on YouTube before shows individuals who went there to film in the afternoon, even talking about the fear of their life. We have why filming these villages. Now, if you talk, they will tell you these are rural villages, it's not a developed community. If a place is not a developed community, does that mean that you should dash it to the terrorists? Because people don't know what is coming. Now, yesterday, a pregnant woman was killed, 18 persons were adopted, cattle stolen as terrorists launched fresh attack on Kwara community. This continued to go on and on and on. Now, someone should ask this question: what is the purpose of these people terrorizing? Everything happening, there is a purpose. Now, these people, don't forget that Lakurawa terrorists, they were staying in Yobe with Mahmuda. Okay, now they left Yobe, they went to Niger State, close to the dam. From there, they enter Kwara State. Why all this movement? Their mission is to make sure that they infiltrate Yoruba land. That is their sole mission. That is their sole purpose. Don't forget about the fight of Kwara. How the then Yoruba People's Congress, what is it called, OPC, wanted to take back Kwara, which is Yoruba land, from the Fundanis then. Now, this has nothing to do with tribalism. This has nothing to do with politics. I'm just telling you history. So there you can see Ebuka Obi narrating the story on how they brought Buhari to make sure they forced Obasanjo to shoot at OPC direct at sight. And that was how they captured Kwara State back. And what is the mission of capturing Kwara State back? Anyway, that is it's an assignment that I want you to go and do yourself, because anytime I continue to give people stories like this, people will think that I'm just manufacturing this story. So go and do the assignment yourself. Why is it that the Fulanis fought hard to take hold of Kwara? It's because of a future mission which these terrorists have come to start actualizing. These things are the things you can go and verify. And at the end of this video, I am going to leave you with a video, a testimony of Ebuka Obi, what he said on Arise News, why they brought Buhari to make sure that Fundani's plan were not exterminated, like they were not chased away from Kwara State. Okay, just follow me to the end of this video. Now, yesterday, Shara reporters reported that terrorists have once again unleashed bloodshed in Kwara State, killing a pregnant woman, abducting no fewer than 18 residents, and rustling dozens of cattle in coordinated attack on multiple communities. Out of the article. Now, the only reason why all these terrorists will be able to rustle cattle, and just capture 18 people and move is because these places are their terrain. They have dominion over there, and there is nothing anyone can tell them. So just imagine if you have security, you see 18 people being taken into the bush with cattle. Oh my goodness. Just imagine. I want you to think what I'm thinking. Where they are, let me say they are pushing or they are conveying up to 20 cattle with 18 persons. How is it going to be? Now, the pregnant women among them, they shot her dead because maybe they think she can't move, all those things. This is very dangerous. We are living in a perilous time. We are at war, but people face to understand this. Now, the article continues that the latest assault occurred on the early hours of Tuesday when over 40 armed men stormed Motokun village in Patiji local government area on motorcycle, shooting sporadically and leaving villagers fleeing for their lives. Out of the article. Now, let me tell you this thing one more time. You see, where you see 40 people moving, I am not talking about 4 people, 40 terrorists moving in a motorcycle. It shows the lack of security, or it shows that these people are collaborating. You can't tell me anything like 40 motorcycles moving to my village, they take up to 18 persons, they rustle cattle, and nobody even challenged to stop them. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of things people are not understanding. All these places, all these Yoruba lands is already taken by these terrorists. They exercise authority. They tell you that this place is our domain. You can't do anything. Now, a resident who spoke to Nupeko TV described the terrifying invasion. They invaded our communities, shooting guns sporadically, she said. A pregnant woman was killed instantly and several people were taken away by the attackers. They came in large numbers on motorcycles, each with sophisticated weapons, the residents narrated. Sources confirmed that at least 8 residents were kidnapped in Motokun, while another set of gunmen simultaneously attacked Fanagon village in Saraje Emirate, where 3 Fulani men and 3 cattle were also abducted. Out of the article. You see, the problem with Kwara State is that they have a man in the name of Kwara who boasted that they imported these militias in 2015 to remove Jonathan out of office. This is a well-known fact, undisputable fact. They used to come to the national television even to say it, and there is nothing anyone could do about it. So these are the issues we are facing. That people who are in the position of authority are the one who are incubating these terrorists, while the real people continue to die. The article continues that the terrorists reportedly rushed dozens of cows during the twin attack, further deepening the economic hardship of local communities already battered by rising insecurity. Villagers say the attackers operated freely for hours without confrontation from security operatives. Do you now understand what I've been saying? That these people are operating in a safe haven, that there is nothing the security operatives could do. The bandits or terrorists who are always warning Nigeria that they will burn down Nigeria, and the SS and the army will keep on begging them in the name of peace deal. Nigeria is gone. On Monday, Sahara reporters also reported how terrorists abducted a woman and a girl during a midnight raid on Maganiko, Ndanaji, a community under the Lafiaji Emirate in Edo local government area. Sahara reporters gathered that the gunmen, who were heavily armed with sophisticated weapons, invaded the community around midnight on Sunday. They fired several gunshots into the air to terrorize residents before seizing their victims. A resident who spoke on the condition of anonymity said the attackers operated unhindered, and this is what he said in quotes. They came around 12 midnight, shooting everywhere. People ran into the bush. They kidnapped 2 people, a married woman called Aisha, popularly known as Gogo, and a 16-year-old girl named Amina. They took them away to an unknown location, the residents said. Now, this is the last paragraph of this article. The latest abduction came hours after the emir of Lafiaji in Kwara State, Alhaji Mohammed Kudu Kau, was accused of unleashing political talks and palace-backed security operative to stop youths from protesting against the rising wave of terror attack in the community. So what that implies is that a Fulani head of community, who is the king of the place, is against protesting against insecurity, while the people continue to die. So I'm not going to say anything further. I want you to listen to Alhaji Buba Galadima on the reason why they recruited Buhari into politics to save Fulanis from Kwara State. This is history.
Well, some of us who recruited him into politics had a mission, and I will reveal that mission today. General Buhari came into politics. It wasn't his province. He never liked politicians because he believed we are fake and that we don't mean what we say. But there was an incident that made some of us to recruit him, convince him, and use the other people to convince him to join politics. And even though we had our own agenda, because in 1999 and 2000, the OPC was on rampage in some parts of the country, especially Southwest, and have inconvenienced a lot of people from this part of the country. And to the extent that they mobilized over 500 vehicles to come and invade Ilorin with the sole aim of uprooting what they called Fulani structures in Ilorin. And we felt that was too much. And Obasanjo was doing nothing. President Obasanjo was doing nothing. President Bola Tinubu, then governor of Lagos, was doing nothing. And some of us felt that those group of people were being encouraged by their leaders in position of authority. So how do we stop that? And I called a meeting in Kaduna at Alhaji Bashir Dalhatu's house in a place called Unguan Kaji, directly opposite the house of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. And some of those we invited included Alhaji Wadanas, Professor Yadudu, Bashir Dalhatu himself, Alhaji Yahya Sulehama, and a host of others, about 34 of us. And we sat down to reason, how do we save our people from this OPC menace? So we said, I suggested that we have to, because you remove government through only two ways: the ballot of through the barrel of the gun and through the ballot box. And they said it was impossible to challenge General Obasanjo. That was how Buhari came to our mind. And when he was approached, he had a very unkind words for politicians. But since he didn't say he was not doing, we still pursued him. To cut long story short, we achieved our first purpose of putting a brake to what OPC was doing, because immediately Buhari joined partisan politics, and we had a very big outing in Daura to initiate him into politics. The Obasanjo government became restive and was shaken to its bone marrow, and because those were some of his our thinking. So Obasanjo had to really checkmate the OPC. So for that reason, we have achieved our first purpose of bringing General Buhari into partisan politics. So the remaining now is history. They wanted to dismantle, as what is happening across the country now. They wanted to dismantle his platform of ANPP, APC, ANPP. And we made a counter platform by establishing the Buhari Organization, TBO, which we used as a platform for promoting his political ideals. Of course, all these are now history. Some smart people who are politically ambitious came in and threw us out. That is how we parted ways with him. Those of us who followed him blindly for 15 years, Suleya Hamma as our leader, and myself as his deputy and the operational head of the Buhari Organization, we agreed that we should not look for political appointment, or we should not look for elective office. Our idea is just to push General Buhari to become president, so that if we become the engine room of his government, we would now influence certain things in the country. And we had those things listed in our minds. And the greatest mistake was that, and it's what people also see as Buhari's inability to do well in government, because he has cut the umbilical cord, those who brought him and have ideas about what he has to do, and he recruited new people. And these new people never had an idea at all as to why even Buhari joined politics. But all these are now history. We pray that God grants him Al-Jannat al-Firdaus, and we pray that God receives him and forgive him. For some of us, we have forgiven him already. Definitely, Buhari wouldn't have done anything outside what God has destined will happen.
Okay, Alhaji, thank you so much. We're looking forward to your new book. You will leave to be able to write that story and tell it. And we'll be there to celebrate with you when you launch the book. And it will be another, repository of Nigerian history, and we'll learn from you. Like I said, you're not going anywhere soon. I wish you the very best of health. Trust you're doing better now. We heard you've been under the weather for a bit, but we're happy to see you doing well. Thank you so much.